Going with this unconference approach, we'd be hard-pressed to say, yes, we knew this was going to be a successful way to do things, but I think our attitude was really, why not? Let's give it a try. People attend a lot of conferences, and they tend to fall into really one or two, kind of standard molds and so on. So we wanted to shake people out of their comfort zone a little bit, particularly with something like teamwork, where what we're not lacking is enthusiasm, and what we're not lacking is the capacity, and we're not lacking intelligent people who are engaged in doing this. But we need to then find creative ways of responding to that enthusiasm and of working with that intelligence that exists there. And I think the unconference helps us to do that.
Mostly what you're going to do over the course of the next couple of days is you're going to be working with all these other people in the room. There's a lot of research into teamwork, and everyone kind of knows that it's something that needs to happen, but can be hard to make it happen. And that kind of learning really happens best by having people talk to each other about real-world stuff. So everyone here has expertise. People have expertise from the successes that they've had, and people have expertise from the challenges they've faced. And that what we're going to do mostly is get all you guys talking to each other. We're going to have one short talk at the beginning. It's mainly just to remind people of the perspective of patients and about helping patients.
Why do we go to stories? Well, there's lots of reasons. I think now, in the face of so much new knowledge, we go to stories because we want to say that there is evidence-based practice, but there's also experience-based evidence. My son has had a number of medical problems. We went to emergency, and there was a surgical fellow there. It was around midnight, and he had obviously had a long, long day, and we went through the diagnostic process, and the ultrasound had shown lots of inflammation, but his physical exam indicated, there wasn't much going on there that bothered him. He did something that was quite extraordinary in our experience, and that is he sat down and he presented his diagnostic dilemma. He said, here's what the ultrasound is showing, but here's what my physical exam is showing, and for particular reasons, we no longer do appendectomies right away. So I said, Peter has Asperger's syndrome, which he had never heard of, and I said, I've read, since we learned that diagnosis, that people with Asperger's syndrome are much more prone to peritonitis and obstructed bowels and all because of how they experience and sometimes don't express pain. And so the physician heard this, and he said, that's very important information. He thought about it. He said, let's go to the operating room. He did the surgery, came back and said, it wasn't on the verge of bursting, but it would have been a mistake to wait till the morning. He was giving back, telling me that that was important information, and he was receptive to our story. And that seemed to make some difference.